Hi guys, I decided to make a video in which I will show you a complete process of how to bake an artisan bread using only flour, water, salt and yeast. It's very good tasting, it's delicious, and you'll basically stop buying bread at the grocery store once you get the hang of it. It's not easy if you're a first timer, but please don't be discouraged and try your second, try your third until you get the hang of it. It's well worth it, and like I will show you in this video, it's super fast. Okay. All right. It all starts with getting the ingredients ready for preparing the dough. I'm going to use this postal scale. Actually, I've already used it, but I will show you. So postal scale to get the exact grams and temperature. Just any digital thermometer. This will show us Celsius and Fahrenheit. We have 910 grams of organic all-purpose flour, which is approximately 6.5 cups of flour. 22 grams of salt. I use sea salt. This is approximately 3 teaspoons. 10 grams of active dry yeast, which is approximately 2.5 teaspoons. And I use Red Star active dry yeast. I buy it in a jar, a little bit cheaper than packets. And 682 grams of water, which we will need to warm up to 38 degrees Celsius. This is very important because we want the yeast to start working right away. All right, I'm gonna warm up the water and I'll be right back. We'll mix all this and get the dough ready. Okay, we warm up the water to 38 degrees Celsius, and we will use the bowl in which we had the old dough. So we'll simply dump in the water. There's no reason whatsoever to clean the bowl since we're gonna make dough in it and we had dough before. Dump the salt. Dump the yeast and the flour. And then we're gonna take the dough hook and start mixing the ingredients. You can also do this by hand if you don't have a mixer, but it's way easier with a mixer, and also it's not that messy. So we will put it on speed 2 and give it about 3 to 4 minutes, after which we will remove the bowl and scrape the edges, put it back and mix for another 5-6 minutes. We'll be right back. Alright, about 3 minutes into the mixing process, we'll remove it quickly, give it a good scrape on the edges, make sure there's no dry flour left. Okay, scrape the edges really good all the way around. Alright, put it right back in. On speed number 2, and we'll let it mix for another 5 minutes. Alright, the dough has been mixing for the 5 minutes. We'll clean the dough hook a little bit. Okay, move all the dough from it. And we'll cover it loose. It doesn't have to be a very tight cover. Actually, we need the gases to escape a little bit. We'll let this at room temperature for 2 hours, and then we'll stash it in the fridge overnight. See you in a bit. Alright, so the dough has been resting at room temperature for approximately 2.5 hours. It has been fermenting, and I will show you there is a lot of moisture on the interior of the lid, which is good. We want that. And also the volume of the dough has increased, maybe 2.5, 3 times as the original volume. If you remember, it was barely on the bottom of the bowl, and now it has increased a lot. Looks puffy, looks with a lot of gas in it, and that's what we want. We're gonna stick this in the fridge overnight, and tomorrow we're ready to bake our first bread. See you soon. Alright, time to shape the dough. For this we're gonna need proofing basket, easy to find on Amazon. A little bit of all-purpose flour just to dust the interior of the basket, and also dust the hands and dust the dough. So let's get right to it. This is the dough as it comes out of the fridge, and this is the last half. I will probably make another video in which I will show you how to take the first half and use the scissors and cut from the remaining half. So that being said, take a little bit of flour, sprinkle all over, and dust our hands. Okay, dust generously the inside of the bowl. This will prevent the dough from sticking to the inside of the bowl. Then we simply grab the dough and we shape it, bringing the top part and gently tuck it underneath the bread. And this should be done in about 15 to 20 seconds. Avoid pressing down the dough so that we keep in the dough most of the gases. Alright, that's it. And then you just take a towel, quickly cover it, and let it rest for 30 to 35 minutes. Okay, so this is the part where we warm up the oven for the baking. I'm going to place a metallic tray in which we're going to put a cup of water at the time of placing the bread in the oven. This will give us the humidity needed for the baking of the bread. Cast iron skillet. I bought this on eBay for roughly 20 bucks. You can use a Dutch oven, but I like to use this. Okay, and I also like to use this very basic oven thermometer. I bought this one on Amazon for about $6. I will put a link in the description. Why is this good? Because it gives you an exact temperature of the oven. A lot of times the digital display of the range could be misleading, or could be off about 10, 15, 20, even 30 degrees. So yeah, very good investment, $6. Alright, so let's get to it. Thermometer, cast iron skillet, and metallic tray. Alright, we're ready to put the bread in the oven. We're gonna need some cornmeal. This is to dust the bottom of the cast iron skillet. 1 cup of lukewarm water, which we're gonna dump into the metallic tray just before we close the oven. And some poppy seeds, which is optional obviously, and you can throw it on top of the bread. Alright, let's do it. Cornmeal on the bottom of the pan. And if you remember, I told you to put the bread upside down in the proofing basket. The reason being is now we're just gonna flip it over and the bread is gonna land in the normal position. Using a knife, make 3 big slashes in which we're gonna throw some poppy seeds. And then we're gonna put it in the oven. Take the water, dump it in the metallic tray, set up the timer at 39 minutes. See you in a bit. Alright, time to take the bread out of the oven. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ready. Let's see what we have. Alright, nice and crispy. And we're gonna transfer the bread right away on a cooling rack. And there you have it.